Today is the Raghunath Das Goswami's Disciplines Day. Very beautiful day. Raghunath he was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Om Jnanatiminandhasya Jnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshushrunnitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvabhutam Pujana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Scha Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha अकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभैवत्यपतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जगन्नाथाय नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने घोरतिशे नमः। दत्तत्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तवतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपिका गुरुकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते काञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी विशुभानुसुता देवी स्वामी हरिप्रिये हरे कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम। So,
Hare Krishna.
Hare, how are you?
Busy, man, busy.
Busy?
Cutting grass, cooking.
Why are you so busy?
This life in America is no good.
You got a
Only
chant Hare Krishna.
material life good here.
You got a chant Hare Krishna, no?
Oh, I did enough. 30 job already.
Oh, very good.
Every day, man.
So this is the song written by. Thank you for joining. Uh, Narottam Thakur is singing. Uh, Evaro Karuna Karo Vaishnava Gosai. Dear Vaishnava, please bless us, Gosai. There is no one as merciful like you. By going to you, all the papa dure jai, all the sin goes away. Amona Dayalapu Kivaputa. Oh, where can you find such a merciful personality? গঙ্গার পরশ হইলে পশ্চাৎ পাবন দর্শনে পবিত্র করে দিল। If you take bath in the Ganga, then only you get out of sin. Get all your sins goes away. But by seeing Vaishnava from distance, all the sin goes away. So powerful, seeing a pure Vaishnava. Even if you don't come in close and take his association, just by seeing him from the far distance, you can get the all your sins goes away. Darshana pavitra karo. You purify. Simply by seeing him, you get purified. If you commit offense to the holy Harinam, to the Nam Prabhu, then uh, so if you offend to Krishna, then the holy name will, if you chant the holy name, then that offense will go away. But if you offend a Vaishnava, pure devotee of the Lord, uh, there is no Nahiko Aram. There is no way that you can get out of the situation. Tomaro Hridaya Sada Govinda Visram. In the heart of a Vaishnava, Lord is always residing. He's taking rest in the heart of a pure devotee. Govinda Visram. Govinda is another name of Lord Krishna. Govinda ko hai na mama Vaishnava Puran. Govinda is very dear to the Vaishnava. To the pure Vaishnava. Gopi jan mein kori asha beg this dust from the lotus feet of a pure Vaishnava. Ramdas Thakur saying, please accept me as your own maidservant. This is Narottam Das Thakur. Das Thakur is humbly praying and is also grieving when Srivas, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, they all left, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left. He was grieving for these wonderful Vaishnavas who left and went back to the spiritual world. He is missing them. So in their separation, Narottam Das Thakur, he has written this beautiful song. Really, this song is sung in every Vaishnava when they disappear, every pure Vaishnava when they disappear in the world. You should sing this song. Vaishnava Bigapti, Vaishnava Viraha Janita Bhajan. Viraha means sadness. When a Vaishnava leaves, you become sad because you will miss his association. But he leaves behind a lot of teachings and a lot of books for us, so we can study those books and get to know Krishna and his devotee and serve the devotees and serve Krishna. So Raghunath Das Goswami, today is his disappearance day. He left this world and went back to Krishna. So Raghunath Das Goswami served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 16 years in Jagannath Puri, after which he went to Vrindavan in 1543. In 1543 and 44, where he lived for many years at a sacred lake known as Radhakunda. His bhajana kutir or place of worship still exists there and is visited by many pilgrims to this day. If you go to uh, Radhakund, you can still see this place of Bhajan Kutir of Raghunath. They made a small temple and they have a picture of Raghunath. Samadhi is there, the original Samadhi. So you can, generally there is a way you can do parikrama, pradakshina, and you chant Hare Krishna. So many, many thousands of pilgrims, they go there. So they come and visit this place. He had an opportunity to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 16 years directly, after which he went to Vrindavan. Uh, so all these Goswamis, they came to Vrindavan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Raghunath Das Goswami in 1494, 1586, and Dasa Goswami was a disciple of Sri Jadunandan Acharya, Sri Billapa Kushmanjali, verse 4, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adilila chapter 12, and Antalila 6, one of the opposite of the Vaishnava saints, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the primary six of which were collectively known as the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Together, the six Goswamis established the philosophical writings and records which became the theological basis of the Gaudiya Vaishnava. Tradition among the six Raghunath Das was renowned for his qualities of simplicity and renunciation. Raghunath Das Goswami, uh, in 1494, Krishnapur Hooghly, district of present uh, district of present day West Bengal, born in 1494 and left this world in 1586. The Panihari Chita Dahi festival was also established by Nityananda through him, and he had a very regulated lifestyle. List of main work. So this is Raghunath. Raghunath is a very dear devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Uh, Raghunath, first when he see Mahaprabhu, he wanted to leave his home, family, and everything, and he wanted to join Mahaprabhu's movement. But Mahaprabhu told him, "Now go back to your home and do your duties. And when right time will come, Krishna will pick you up from that situation and he'll place you in his lotus feet." So Raghunath, by the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went back and he took care nicely his family life, his wife, parents, and everybody. They were very happy with him. Got back their son. But ultimately, they could not keep her son. They could not keep him. They tried many ways, gave him all the facilities that he could enjoy materially, but he wasn't happy. It's like Prabhupada says that if you take out a fish out of water and you give him all the facilities like books, education, wealth, good wife, nice necklace, gold chain, everything, but the fish from the water, if you take him out, if you give him all these things, still he's not happy because belongs to the water. The fish belongs to the water. So when you put him back in the water, he'll be happy. Otherwise, he won't be happy. Similarly, the living entities, everyone, they're all fragmented part and parcel of Krishna. So when you go back, when you endeavor to go back home, back to Godhead, then Krishna will please us. Krishna will be very pleased, and we can render devotional service to Krishna in this spiritual world. Generally, this Goswamis of Vrindavan were a group of devotional teachers, gurus from the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition of Vedic religion, who lived in India during the 15th and 16th centuries. They are closely associated with the land of Vrindavan, where they spend much time in service of the Bengali saint Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is considered as Lord Krishna, Juga Avatar by the Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage, who highly regard them for their external renunciation of physical comforts. The Sargoswamis, the Sikh Goswamis of Vrindavan, they are highly renounced people. They are highly renounced. You know, they did not uh, eat any good food or anything. They just beg whatever they get by begging. They would offer that to Krishna and just eat. And they had only two clothes, nothing else. Not so high clothes, just a low profile clothes. And they were taking that and wearing it. And they would, for their livelihood, they would go and beg one or two houses, whatever they would get, and they would just cook that and offer to Krishna and take as a prasad. This is how they live in Vrindavan. And whole day, most of the time, they were just chanting, chanting, chanting. And they were also helping others by excavating all the different holy places where Krishna had his pastimes. And this was the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the sixth Vrindavan, that you must develop these areas where I have the pastimes, but it may demolish or something happens, but you should all get back those. Hmm. Places of Prabhupada has established the charitable organization, and now through the Bhakti Vedanta charities, all these places have been taken care by ISKCON. And very beautiful seva is going on in Kalna, and also in Champahati, nice place, helping there to maintain the temple through the Bhakti Vedanta charity staff. And also ISKCON is also helping in Bangladesh, many places, with Pundarik Dham and all that places. Many places been saved by Acharya Vaishnavas in especially Srila Prabhupada. So Mahaprabhu, who is considered as Lord Krishna Jugavatar by the Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage, who highly regard them for their extreme renunciation for physical comforts and pleasure in the practice of Bhakti Yoga. And for this philosophical presentation of the teachings of the Gurus and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as well as producing prolific amount of writings regarding Vaishnava philosophy and practice, the Sikh Goswamis also dedicated a significant amount of their time to uncovering many ancient and secret areas of land in Vrindavan associated with Radha and Krishna and the gopis. This, according to the events recorded in the Bhagavad Purana, although having little way of financial position themselves, the Goswamis inspired the building of number of large and ornate temples or on or around this site place dedicated to the worship of Radha and Krishna, to play a role in Vrindavan. The Radha Govinda Mandir, uh, Madan Mohan Mandir, Radha Gopinath Mandir, all these mandis or temples were established by the big temples. People are worshipping Radha. They go there, they worship.
Not hearing you.
So these Goswamis of Vrindavan, they go, they build a very beautiful temples, uh, especially Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. They build a very beautiful temples for the establish of worship of Radha and Krishna in the temples. And until today, those temples are available to us to see with your physical presence eyes. You can see them. Been built in 500 years ago. You can go and see them. So Raghunath Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, they all helped Sanatana Rup to build these temples and help him to execute devotional service. Not only that they help, but they're also doing it. They themselves were doing it too. Very nice to know about Raghunath. Raghunath, he served 16 years, almost 18 years to Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. He had a very long association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know how fortunate you have to be the personal servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Huh? Here people are fighting day and night to become servants of the kings and ministers and all that. And what to talk about getting a chance to become a servant of Supreme Personality of Godhead? Uh, you not think how lucky you are to do that. So, uh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission was established through this Siddh Goswamis of Vrindavan. So Raghunath, he left this world. Today's the date, and some temples are observing by hearing and chanting. Some temples they have a chance to study and give a little class on Raghunath. So they're doing that also. So Raghunath Das Goswami ki jai. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. So this Raghunath Goswami, through him, the cheap rice festival took place in West Bengal. From you don't have to go through Shialda station. You can go through from Howrah station to the Shodhpur. And Shodhpur, within Shodhpur, there is a place called Panihat. So in this place, you know, Nityananda Prabhu gave blessing to many devotees. And Raghunath Goswami got the full blessings of Nityananda Prabhu. And he had the opportunity to serve Nityananda Prabhu through the cheap rice and mixed with milk and yogurt and honey and all that. It's a beautiful festival. There's thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people came to eat cheap rice. There was a shortage of cheap rice. They would go again village and bring thousands of pounds of cheap rice, and they would soak them and put yogurt and sugar and so many other things they would put. Sometimes they would put camphor and they would put jackfruits, mangoes, uh, lychees, so many nice fruits nowadays available. So they would bring them and they would generally the devotees they offer their fruits and all that thing to Krishna and mix with yogurt and milk and cheap rice soaked and they would distribute. This is a special mercy that Raghunath got to do this festival. He managed the whole festival through the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Mohalila Premavarsha. Today we're reading from the Adi Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya in 5 features. ঐলিশা প্রেম কন্যা চদিকে বেড়াই সেই বৃদ্ধ বালক যুবা সবর ডুবাই The blood of love of all Godhead swelled in all directions, and thus young men, old men, women, and children were all immersed in in, in that inundation. When the contents of the storehouse of love of Godhead is thus described, that there is a powerful inundation that covers the entire land in Siddha Mayapur. There is sometimes a great flood after the rainy season. This is indication that from the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, the inundation of love of Godhead should be spread all over the world. For this will help everyone, including old men, young men, women, and children. The Krishna conscious movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so powerful that he can inundate the entire world and encourage all classes of men. Highly everyone, including old man, young man, and women and children. The Krishna conscious movement is so powerful that it can inundate the entire world and interest all classes of men in the subject of love of God. So what do we say here? Uh, Everyone can get love of God, is it not? You have to get a little qualification. Yes, the love of Godhead is available with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if you serve Nityananda Prabhu and please Nityananda Prabhu, you can automatically get love of God from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it's very difficult from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to get Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Seva. Hmm. You have to go through Nityananda Prabhu. You have to approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Nityananda Prabhu. Ajana Durjana Pada Darayandagan Premavanna Duvaila Jagati Rajan. The Krishna conscious movement inundated the entire world and drawn everyone, whether one be a gentleman, rapper, or even lame, invalid, or blind. So blind man can see and layman can cross mountain. Uh, the person who cannot speak, he can speak scripture, Sanskrit language. Uh, and this is only possible when you take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, when you serve under his guidance, and if the things are not pure, then you have to earn this purity. You have to earn it. Nobody is going to give you that. You have to earn your purity, and you use that purity for the service of the Lord. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so powerful that it can inundate this entire world and interest all classes of the men in the subject of love of God. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very powerful. He can do anything. So he can engage thousands of people in doing service to Krishna. And also he can reject also. And he'll see, he'll make a rule who verify to serve him, serve Krishna. Then only you can serve. You have to be qualified to serve Krishna. Hmm. But it's not necessary to become a qualified to serve Krishna because it says, Hare Krishna. Sajana Durjana Pongu Jarayandagan Prema Vanna Dubailo Jagatero Jan. The Krishna conscious movement will inundate the entire world and drown everyone, whether one for a gentleman, rough, or even lame, invalid, or blind. জগত ডুবিল জীবের হইল বিজনাশ, তাহা দেখি 5 জনের পরময় উল্লাস. When the 5 members of the Panchatattva saw the entire world drawn in love of Godhead and the seed of material enjoyment in the living entities completely destroyed, that all become exceeded, exceedingly happy, exceedingly happy purport. In this connection, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya that since the living entities all belong to the marginal potency of the Lord, each and every living entity has natural tendency to become Krishna conscious. Although at the same time, the seed of material enjoyment is undoubtedly within, him, the seed of material enjoyment, watered by the course of material nature, first, and fructifies to become a tree of material entanglement that endows the living entity with all kinds of material enjoyment. To enjoy such material facilities is to be afflicted with the 3 material miseries. So, in this world there is Tama, Rajas and Satya. This world is very much prevalent, and everyone has to work through these modes. Unless you are pure and achieve pure Satya Guna, pure Shuddha Satya Guna, and that is transcendental. It is only available in the spiritual world in the Goloka Vrindavan. But Mahaprabhu, when he came, he gave it to many devotees. যত যত প্রেম বৃষ্টি করে পঞ্চজনে, তত্ত্ব তত্ত্ব বারে জন ব্যাপ ত্রিভুবনে. The more the members of the Panchatattva came to the realm of love of Godhead in fall, so the more the 5 members of the Panchatattva cause the rains of love of Godhead to fall, the more the inundation increases and spreads all over the world. There's so many statements. Here also states in the translation that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has come to spread this Krishna conscious movement. He has not come here to enjoy some good prasad or something, no. Or also to enjoy with his rich disciples, no. He came here to America only to uplift the American people in higher consciousness. That's all he came. He wanted them to know about Krishna, and after knowing Krishna, you should be accept some pure devotee in the temple and worship him and take prasad and serve him again and every day. In this way, you get connected to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Nityananda Prabhu and all other Goswamis also. জয় জয় প্রেম বৃষ্টি করে পঞ্চজন, তত তত বারে জন ব্যাপী ত্রিভুবন. The more the five members of the Panchatattva cause the rain of love of Godhead to fail, the more the inundation increases and spreads all over the world. The inundation of the flood for love of God it increases day by day because of the presence of Mahaprabhu in West Bengal. When Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan after taking sannyas, he went to Vrindavan, but Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Acharya tricked him and brought him to Mayapur. But he was getting a little angry with Nityananda brother. Why you have brought me to Vrindavan? I wanted to stay in Vrindavan, original Vrindavan. Then why you brought me here? যত যত প্রেম বৃষ্টি করে পঞ্চজনে তত তত ভারে জল ব্যাপে ত্রিভুবনে. The more the five members of the Panchatattva cause the rains of love of Godhead to fall, the more the inundation increases and spreads all over the world. মায়াবাদী কর্মনিষ্ঠা কুতার্কিগণ নিন্দক পাষণ্ডী যত পড়ুয়ায়ধম সেই সব মহাদক্ষ ধাইয়া পালাইল সেই বন্যা তা সবারে হইল নারিল. The impersonalists, fruity workers, false logicians, blasphemes, non-devotees, and lowest among the mankind, among the students community are very expert in avoiding the Krishna conscious movement, and face their, their, therefore the inhabitants of Krishna conscious cannot touch them. Like Mayavadis, philosophers of the past such Prakashananda Saraswati, a Benares modern impersonalists are not interested in Lord Chaitanya. Krishna conscious movement, they do not, they do more know, they do not know that the value of the, they do not know the value of this material world. They consider it false and cannot understand how Brahmajyoti, they cannot understand that Krishna, the Supreme Person of God, it is spiritual and therefore beyond the conception of material illusion. Whenever there is, whenever Krishna increases personally or as a devotee, this Mayavadis philosopher accept him as an ordinary human being. This is condemned in the Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Avajananti mamudha manushim tanumashitam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. There are also other unscrupulous persons who exploit the Lord's appearance by posing as incarnation to cheat the innocent public, and there are also other unscrupulous persons who exploit the Lord's appearance by posing unscrupulous persons who exploit this Lord's innocent public. An incarnation of God should pass this test of the statement of the Shastras and also perform uncommon activities. One should not accept a rascal as an incarnation of God, but should test his ability to act as the Supreme Person of God. For example, Krishna third Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna also accepted him as the Supreme Person of God. But for our understanding, Arjuna requested the Lord so to, to manifest his universal universal form, thus testing whether he was actually the Supreme Lord. Similarly, one must one must test so-called incarnation of God according to the standard of criteria to avoid being misled by an exhibition of mystic power. It is best to examine and so-called incarnation of God in the light of the statement of the Shastras. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, therefore, if one wants to in- imitate Lord Chaitanya and claim to be an incarnation, he must show evidence from the Shastra about the appearance and substantiate his claim. So there is no incarnation of Krishna in this world, in this Kali Yuga. But Krishna has come as Chaitanya, but he came as a hidden. He hid his godliness. Uh, he left it behind. But he was always crying for Krishna after getting initiated by Ishwara Puri, first initiation. Then he went to Ganga to pour the water and the uh, ashes of his father. He went to Gaya and did the Pindadan. And all this, then after that, again he came back to Mayapur after seeing Ishwar Puri. Uh, he served Ishwar Puri and he begged him for his initiation. And Ishwar Puri gave him initiation, gave him sannyas. And this way he got the name Chaitanya. তাহা দেখি মহাপ্রভু করুণ চিন্তন জগত ডুবাইছে আমি করিলু যতন কেহ কেহ এড়াইল প্রতিজ্ঞা হইল ভজন হইল ভঙ্গ তাহা সবা ডুবাইতে পতি পতিব কিছু রঙ্গ তাহা দেখি মহাপ্রভু করুণ চিন্তন জগত ডুবাইতে আমি করিল যতন কেহ কেহ এড়াইল প্রতিজ্ঞা হইল ভঙ্গ তাহা সবা ডুবাইতে পাতিব কিছু রঙ্গ. Seeing that the Mayavadis and others were fleeing, Lord Chaitanya thought, I wanted everyone to be immersed in the inundation of love of God, but some of them have escaped. Therefore, I shall devise a trick to drown them also. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that seeing that the Mayavadis and others were fleeing, Lord Chaitanya thought I wanted everyone to be immersed in the inhabitants inundation of love of God, but some of them have escaped. Therefore, I shall devise trick, yet drawn them also. The trick means he wanted to use the trick so that he can bring them back to Krishna. Mahaprabhu didn't like that they were living away from Krishna. People are living far away from Krishna. They're not interested. So Mahaprabhu didn't like that. Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to become Krishna conscious, everyone to practice Krishna consciousness. And everybody should be given opportunity to serve Krishna. Mahaprabhu, please. So, mm, so some of these uh, big people in India, mm, they were not so much interested in Mahaprabhu, but their interest is more in self gratification, more accumulation of material assets. So there was no need for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to accept sannyas, for he is God himself, and therefore he has nothing to do with the material bodily concept of life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not identify himself with any of the 8 varnas and ashramas, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra, Brahmacharis and Grihastha, Vanapasthas, and Sannyasi. He identifies himself as the Supreme Spirit. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or for that matter, any pure devotee never identifies with these social and spiritual divisions of life. For a devotee, uh, for devotee is always transcendental to this different graduation of society. Nevertheless, Lord Chaitanya decided to accept sannyasa on the grounds that when he be Chaitanya decided to came and sannyasi, everyone would show him respect and that way be favored, although there was actually no need for him to accept. So generally, sannyasis are very highly respected in this world because the sannyasis are situated in the highest order of life. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapastha, and Sannyas. These are the 4 ashrama, uh, and that there is 4 varna, uh, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanapastha, and Sannyas. These are the uh, 4 ashrama, uh, and then there is 4 varna, Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Sudra. And these are all creations of Krishna for the human society so they can act properly and do things right so that they can get ultimately liberation or Krishna prema. Uh, That's why Mahaprabhu, he without any discriminately, he gave love of God to everyone. Uh, Even the people who were fleeing away, he got them back and gave them Krishna prema. This is the Mahamahabadanya avatar. This is the most merciful incarnation of Krishna, Chaitanya, uh, that we got to know who Chaitanya is. I'll stop here. Anybody has anything to say or add anything?
Nothing from me.
So, Victorji, now your time has come for Banapasana.
For what?
Your time has come to take Banapasta.
What's that?
Banapasta means when you get aged, when you're getting like Prabhupada is actually 50 or 55, one should try to take Banapasta. But nowadays that's not happening. But at least you should take Banapasta in 70s. and renounce
When I come
completely
to
from the
tell me
family
about
life
it.
and just take shelter of Hari Krishna. Can you do that? If you can't do that, then you can stay in the home also, chant Hare Krishna and just be your wife and husband should just chant Hare Krishna and live together, and but be detached from sense enjoyment. And in this way, you don't have to leave home. Prabhupada also said that also. But generally, he wanted people to follow the four ashrama: brahmachari, grihastha, banapasta, and sannyas.
Yeah, but you don't want to take me to Mayapur. How am I going to do that?
We'll go Mayapur.
Yeah, when I come to temple, we talk about that.
Yes. Mayapur is a
But
very
I'm
wonderful
ready.
place.
I'm ready to do that.
Actually, Mayapur is the place where you can do all these things properly.
I know.
Because it's very spiritually very surcharged and spiritually very advanced. So in Mayapur, if you chant Hare Krishna, take bath in Ganga, and associate with devotees and visit all these holy places, then your time is used in the best way, and you can realize Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you'll get the full blessings.
Well,
Generally, but
you gonna be
generally,
the touring guide.
huh?
You gonna be the guide.
Yes, I can be the guide. I can guide you from here also.
No, but I'm home all day chanting. That's what I do all day. Ask, Ruben.
Uh,
I chant all day.
Diva Mata,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good. You have anything to say?
No, nothing.
You heard what Prabhupada saying in the purport? Want to add anything?
Well, no, nothing to add.
Or you want to say something
Haribol.
about the inundation of love of God? Pray in our lifetime we should try to expand as much as propaganda we can make for Krishna. At least if you cannot give Krishna prem in pure way, but at least we should make enough propaganda about Krishna conscious movement and the books, so that generations of the generations people can keep on joining with Mahaprabhu's movement, which will last for 10,000 years.